How will you identify cylinder number 1 on your V engine? It is very cumbersome. Not easy. It's only easy if you have the access to remove the top cylinder. Then you will be able to identify cylinder number 1 easily. But if you don't have access to remove the top cylinder, then you need to know which one is the number 1 cylinder. Remember that it is a V engine and two of them, looking there from the outside, where will you know which one is your number 1 cylinder? Calm down. I'm going to tell you that right in this video. You should be able to identify your cylinder number 1 in any V engine at all. There is a difference between every manufacturer on where to pick your cylinder number 1. Different manufacturer has where to pick it. But averagely, I'm going to tell you in this video how you can pick your cylinder number 1 in your V engine. In your straight engine, identify cylinder number 1 is very easy and quick one. But when it comes to V engine, it is very technical for you to identify your cylinder number 1. If you have the opportunity to remove your cylinder head, you can easily identify cylinder number 1 because from the front of the engine, you will see one of them will slightly be at the front. One of the cylinder will slightly be at the front. Then the one is slightly be at the front is your cylinder number 1. You can check on the video. You can check on the screen. See the one that points arrow is a bit slightly at the front. That shows it's number 1 cylinder in this very setting. But let us assume that you cannot remove the top cylinder. Or are you going to remove the top cylinder because you want to identify cylinder number 1? No, now, come on. There are other means, soft ways in which you can identify cylinder number 1. But the first thing you need to know is the engine rotation, clockwise or anti-clockwise. If your engine is turning clockwise, you need to know. And if your engine is working anti-clockwise, you need to know. These are the two rotations commonly in the engine. It's either clockwise or anti-clockwise. You need to be able to identify where your engine is turning to. If your engine is clockwise, fine. If it is anti-clockwise, fine. For you to identify your cylinder number 1, you should be able to identify your engine rotation. If it's clockwise, then you will know that by the time you stand in the front of your engine, that is, if it's water-cooled engine, you are standing the counting from your radiator, water-cooled engine. If you stand there, you follow the engine rotation. If your engine is clockwise, then you pick number 1 from the clockwise side of your engine, from the front side. If your engine is anti-clockwise, then you pick number 1 anti-clockwisely from the radiator side. That is where your number 1 is. But if your engine is air-cooled engine, then by the time you stand there, you check the rotation of the engine. If it is clockwise, where the engine is turning to, you pick your number 1 from that side. And if it is anti-clockwise, you also pick your number 1 from the anti-clockwise side. Remember, you don't have access to remove the engine's the top cylinder. But another quick way is that if you check, like in Caterpillar engine, you see that it's boldly written there, your number 1 and number 2, so that you not be confused. And you can also do well to check the owner's manual. It will also be written there how to identify your cylinder number 1. But identify your cylinder number 1, it will help you a long way when you want to do a proper repair on your engine. For example, when you want to adjust your valve, when you want to fix your injection pump, when you're looking for your TDC and other things, your injection number 1 is you always need to identify your cylinder number 1. And for you to be able to do so, you need to know where it is. So pick it based on your engine direction. If it is clockwise, pick it from there. If it is anti-clockwise, then it will be your left hand side. If it's clockwise, it will be your right hand side where you are standing at your radiator on water-cooled engine. But with air-cooled engine, most air-cooled engine, you start your counting from the flywheel. Then you start picking your number 1 from your right If it is clockwise, if you stand at your flywheel, that is how you will be able to identify your cylinder number 1 and your number 2. Remember, the one you do mostly is a number 1, so that you can do other things, valve adjustment, um, for you to install your injection pump and other necessary things that you can do or that you have to do on your engine. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, subscribe, share, like the video, and support my effort. Thank you, Mr. Engine. Hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.